Hello everybody. I know the dust has settled on this topic for the time being, but I want to talk about Metal Gear Survive. To cut straight to my point, this is one of the few games on the horizon that I'm looking forward to. In this video I'll explain why, and I hope you'll follow along and listen to my points objectively, because I'm not here to defend the game. I'm not here to say it's good or it's bad. I'm just here to make some points. One of the things I couldn't help but notice when the game was officially announced was the level of hate directed towards the game's vision. You hear a lot of, it's got recycled assets, or it's another generic zombie game. It amazes me whenever something, no matter what it is so quickly dismissed before it's even available to try it out. It's like pretending you know what a new model of car is going to look like or handle like before it's even available to test drive. Like, that's awfully presumptuous of anybody.
What happened?
The ultra mega zombie. What do you mean what happened? What happened is Kojima pieced out. Or actually, he didn't piece out. Konami said, fuck you, Kojima, we can do this without you. And what do they end up doing? They make another shitty, generic, fucking zombie game that nobody cares about and nobody wants to fucking play.
It's a skill I've definitely had to learn, and I am by no means preaching. I'm not perfect, but I pride myself on being pretty darn objective. It's very hard to do. At E3 2017, Reggie Fils-Aimé, president of Nintendo of America, said something that I've believed about video games for a very long time. And he said, if it's not fun, why bother? And he was talking about games. This is a philosophy that has allowed Nintendo to endure the generations. Many game developers, hardware manufacturers opt to focus on horsepower. Nintendo focuses on fun, and I think that's the reason why I'm still playing Nintendo games like 25 years later. It's the main reason that I've been a Nintendo fan throughout the years. It hasn't been because of the graphics. I think anybody can admit that. Nintendo games are fun, and that's why they have lasting appeal. Let's talk about Metal Gear Survive for a second now. So the only thing that should matter here when talking about this game is the game fun? Because isn't that why we play video games? You don't play... Well, maybe some people do, but I don't play video games to have a bad time. Is the game stable? Like, is it going to come out and crash like crazy, freeze like crazy? Are there going to be glitches and exploits that never get fixed? What kind of ongoing support is it going to have? Are they going to add missions? Are they going to add locations? Are they going to add items, enemies? Or is it just going to be nothing but a microtransaction soup? The game could certainly fail. It could fail real bad, but I think we have to be realistic. I mean, we're not going to know that until it comes out, no matter who you are. It's all going to hinge on how the game performs, how it sells. I've been surprised to read a couple of articles now over the last couple months that have mentioned the game is more fun than the authors expected. So even they had their expectations kind of molded by groupthink. Speaking of groupthink, I think one of the things preventing this game from being a more heavily anticipated title is that it's just normal to crap on Konami now. Sure, they've certainly landed themselves in some hot water. They have dormant IPs that are frustratingly being left to collect dust in favor of their pachinko business or whatever they got going on. And they've, of course, got bad blood with the man who is credited with making Metal Gear what it is, Hideo Kojima. While they certainly shouldn't get a free pass on the things that they've done, let's face it, this game is only bad and will fail and nobody wants it because so many people are mad at them right now. So many people probably want, and here's the problem, feel entitled to a Metal Gear Solid 6. Konami owns Metal Gear, they can do whatever they want with it, whether I like it or you like it.
And it has the Metal Gear Solid name, so you'll buy it, right? And mark my words, I'm going to place bets. The game is going to be a critical disaster. I'm talking from indie reviewers and big corporate reviewers. The game is going to rate terribly and it's going to get awful reviews.
However, no, it doesn't matter how mad or disgusted you or I might be. It's foolish to think that Konami is incapable of making a good game just because they're in the doghouse right now. The first point I want to make is, if this game was as generic as everyone thinks, Konami would have released it already. The fact that it was announced that it won't be released in 2017, it's getting bumped into next year and still really has no precise release date, proves that they're just ironing out the wrinkles. Second, isn't it a bit unfair to think that Konami, the whole company, is 100% scum? Like, you can be mad at, like, the executives, okay, but there's got to be people working there who care about this game, who want this game to be good. It's not just their job, it's like their passion. These are probably people that have worked on Metal Gear. Now, who knows? Maybe they're sitting in their offices going, oh god, we got to make this game. But I doubt that's everyone. There's got to be people who care about this game. And for us to treat them like, oh, we want to see this game fail, like, how would you feel if you were working on a game and you were like, wow, it's not even out yet and people are being pretty harsh? And these are supposed to be people that are our fans. Third, it's ridiculous to think that Metal Gear can't go on without Kojima. Okay, maybe it'll be different. Maybe it won't be as good. Maybe they won't even bother with a Metal Gear Solid 6. And lastly, I don't understand that the fact that this won't be a full $60 game bothers people. Did it ever occur that maybe it's priced appropriate for the amount of content the game will have? And it's a spin-off. It's not a main entry in the Metal Gear series. I was just reading reviews online for Fortnite. $60 game, and a lot of people say that it's pretty much in a beta state. You're basically paying to get early access to the game. So which one do you want? Do you want a $60 game because at that point it's overpriced? Or do you want a $30 or $20 game where it's like, oh, Konami's just admitting that it's a piece of crap? I don't get it. We're just basically setting up the circumstances, and no matter what Konami does, they lose. I don't understand that. So let me detour for a second here, because it's all relevant. I can still remember around 2008, I was listening to a podcast. I think it was IGN. Doesn't really matter who it was. But Borderlands was on the horizon. Just about ready to come out. I'm psyched. I think this game sounds awesome. But I was listening to this idiot on this podcast, and he was predicting that the game was going to fail. And I don't remember what his reasons were, but the two that have stayed with me all these years were the cover art is stupid. He's like, oh, it's so dumb that this guy's got his hand and he's like holding it up against his head like it's a gun, and the cover art for the game is like coming out of the other side of his head where like his brains would normally be. It's stupid. And two, the graphics were cel shaded or looked cartoony or too kiddie looking. I've never understood that whole like. All that says to me is that like you're insecure about something. Oh, I can't be seen playing this game. It's too cartoony looking. Okay. Hardly legitimate reasons to think that a game would bomb, right? Or else Overwatch would be in the toilet. I haven't played Overwatch, but it looks pretty colorful, right? It's a pretty colorful game. Even more hilarious is that Borderlands exploded. Warranted a second game, got it. The second game is amazing. Even the prequel is pretty good. And now everybody's anxiously awaiting anything Borderlands 3. What does that tell you? That guy must feel pretty stupid. Or you know what? He probably did what a lot of people do, and they just changed their tune. This game's great. To prove how easy it is to let others do your thinking for you, I want to talk about Pikmin for a second. Pikmin. This game right here. I was an avid player of Smash Brothers Melee for the GameCube back when it was the only title, the most recent title in the series. Upon discovering that I needed save data from the game Pikmin just to obtain one of the game's many trophies, I got pretty mad. I rented it from Blockbuster just to get the save data. Okay, I refused to play the game beyond getting the data, just far enough to get the data to satisfy Smash Brothers, to get that trophy. And I can remember, it was funny, I had this joke with my friend at the time. I was like, oh man, the game's not even due back for a few days, but I'm going to return it right now because it's stupid. What's funny about that story is that I would eventually happen across, maybe not this copy, but a copy of the game. Curiosity would get the better of me. I put it into my GameCube or Wii, I don't remember what I played it on first, and next thing I knew I had beaten the game. And not long after that, I would have this. And not long after this, I would have this. Boy, do I feel pretty stupid. In fact, I bet if we all think hard enough, we can think of some instance where this has happened to us or someone else. We pass judgment on something, then we find out we're wrong. Look at Suicide Squad. That's a pretty good example. Critics generally didn't like it, but that didn't stop fans from loving it. When Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness was due to release, I was already aware that even the Japanese didn't like it. And this is bad because the series originates from Japan. So if they don't like it, it's safe to say I'm not going to like it either. I'm a pretty big Star Ocean fan. I don't know why I don't own the third one. I've lost hundreds of hours to these games. Well, maybe not this one. It's very short. Nevertheless, I ignored the negativity, bought the game, finished it, and then made up my own mind. To me, personally, it doesn't deserve to be called Star Ocean, but it is what it is. Am I going to start a change.org petition? No. Am I going to send Square Enix and Tri-Ace hate mail? No. Am I going to make videos whining about it? No. Am I going to get rid of the game? Probably not. What bothers me the most is that the poor performance of integrity and faithlessness could spell the death of the series. It's usually interpreted as, hey look, people don't want to play this anymore, even though people don't want to play it because it's a crap game. So my point is, judge something for what it is, not what you want it to be. Saying that Metal Gear Survive is going to be a piece of crap before it's even out is literally just the opposite of fanboying, which is defending it for no reason. ARMS from Nintendo is another recent example. I bet a lot of us heard about how the game was going to be shallow, or it was just going to be another Wii Sports-like title. But then, to the surprise of many, myself included, news came out after the game released that it's surprisingly more deep than you would think. It requires strategy. You can't just waggle the controls and win. If you're still with me at this point, you're probably curious as to how I'm possibly looking forward to this game. First, I'm interested in the world. The place shown in the trailers looks incredibly eerie. I love that fog, that haze that prevents you from seeing too far. I want to know what this place is. Second, I want to know why the zombies have those crystal things sticking out of their heads. Why are there so many? What has created them? And finally, I want to know how Metal Gear ties into this. It's obvious that Metal Gear will be in the game. I think the game is going to be more fun than people are willing to admit. Not perfect, but more fun than people are willing to admit. I love Metal Gear Solid 5. I love the Metal Gear Solid series. I've played and beaten a lot of them. Not all of them. I haven't really beaten like the PSP spin-off games. I even love the ones that aren't really related to the core series, like Metal Gear Acid. I thought was fantastic. I've heard people describe Metal Gear Survive as that single-player experience that you love, like the gameplay I'm talking about in Metal Gear Solid 5, refined and turned into a cooperative experience. I can't play the Phantom Pain with my friends. It doesn't offer that. I'm excited to play this game with my friends because I think that Metal Gear Solid 5 is a very refined experience, and I'm curious to see how Konami is going to adapt that to a cooperative game. I don't get hung up on the whole zombie thing. I just choose to look at them as the game's adversary. I mean, if you replaced all the zombies with Goombas, would the game then somehow become another generic Goomba shooter? As for it not being worthy of bearing the Metal Gear name, well, the same as when I talked about Star Ocean. I'll just wait and make up my own mind. Okay, and the very, very last point I want to make in this video is I want to just briefly talk about how Kojima was treated by Konami. A key sticking point in why so many people want to see Konami and this game just bomb hardcore. While it does stink that Kojima and Konami couldn't reconcile, Kojima was barred from that Video Game Awards thing, I think people need to realize that most of us don't know Kojima, and he's unaware that many of us exist, if he even cares. Well, to that end, I don't know Kojima. Okay, he's not my dad, he's not my brother, he's not my best man. It sucks what happened, but life goes on. Does that mean I think Konami should get a pass? No, I said that earlier. But here's how I see it. It's their boat to sink. Okay, if they want to sink, we don't have to get emotionally involved. Konami can do whatever it wants, and if it's not going to endure, it's done. Meanwhile, as someone who very much enjoys video games, all I care about in relation to Metal Gear Survive is it going to be a good game? And you know what? Everybody can say that it isn't, but no matter what anybody says, only time will tell. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I'm terrible at ending videos, so I'll just say I'll see you next time.